Rosano's death should have ended everything, but instead, it opened a door to something far more dangerous. Because the truth was simple. Federico Rosano wasn't the head of the snake. He was just a blade, a weapon used by men far more powerful, far more invisible, and far more ruthless. And now that Rosano was gone, those men wanted revenge. Sheba sat on the edge of an ambulance outside the mansion, a silver blanket wrapped around her shoulders. Ethan stood nearby, giving his report to the CIA field commander. For the first time in her life, Sheba felt uncertain. She wasn't a criminal anymore. She wasn't Rosano's prisoner. And she wasn't just an asset. She was a survivor. And the world she helped expose was much bigger than federal files had ever shown. Ethan walked over and sat beside her. "Ethan, you okay?" Sheba smirked. A half-truth. "Sheba, I'm breathing. That's something." He nodded, but before either of them could speak again, a black SUV pulled up. Out stepped Director Mara Ellington, head of the Cleopatra Division, and one of the most feared women in U.S. intelligence. She didn't smile. She didn't blink. "Director Ellington, Rosano was just one door, and you two just opened the next." Inside a secure CIA bunker, Sheba and Ethan stood in front of a holographic table. On it glowed dozens of symbols, bank routes, encrypted names. Director Ellington tapped the screen. Director Ellington. These are the clients Rosano served. Senators, billionaires, generals, foreign ministers, men who hide behind laws they rewrote themselves. Ethan frowned. "Ethan, I thought Rosano was at the top." Ellington shook her head slowly. "Director Ellington. The real leaders call themselves the Shadow Syndicate. Rosano was their middleman." She turned to Sheba. "Director Ellington. And they know you betrayed them." Sheba's eyes narrowed, but she didn't flinch. "Sheba, let them come." Ellington smirked, just a little. "Director Ellington. Oh, they will, which is why you two are being reassigned." The elevator descended into a classified underground chamber. Rows of high-tech weaponry, disguises, identity kits, and encrypted servers filled the room. Sheba raised an eyebrow. "Sheba, new toys." Ethan chuckled. "Ethan, more like new problems." Director Ellington walked ahead, heels tapping like a war drum. "Director Ellington, your mission is simple. Find the remaining syndicate leaders. Expose them. Eliminate their network. End the trade permanently." She turned sharply toward Sheba. "Director Ellington. And you, Queen of Sheba, you're our key." Sheba crossed her arms. "Sheba, why me?" Ellington stepped closer, her voice dropping. "Director Ellington, because the Shadow Syndicate trusts criminals, not heroes. And to them, you're still one of the most effective thieves in the world." A beat of silence. Then Sheba smirked. The return of the woman who once robbed diamond banks for sport. "Sheba, all right, let's steal the syndicate." Deep beneath a private palace in Dubai, 12 men and women sat around a polished obsidian table. These were not criminals hiding in shadows. They were the shadows. Bankers, politicians, oil magnates, war scientists, the Shadow Syndicate. At the head of the table sat a calm, elegant man in a white suit. His voice was soft, but his influence was deadly. His name was the Silk Minister, a man known for his smooth diplomacy and brutal decisions. He placed a photo of Rosano on the table. Silk Minister. Rosano failed. He let one woman dismantle everything we built. The room remained silent. He tapped another photo onto the table. "Sheba, Silk Minister, this woman. Find her. Bring her to me alive, or burn down the nation she hides in." The syndicate nodded. A global manhunt began, and America was target number one. Back at the CIA training compound, Sheba stood on a mat surrounded by elite Cleopatra agents. Hand-to-hand combat, weapon drills, stealth techniques. But Sheba's strength wasn't brute force. It was deception. Instructor, use your mind. Your beauty distracts them. Your intelligence destroys them. Sheba's eyes burned with focus. She threw a punch, dodge a strike, and disarm the instructor in one fluid motion. Ethan, impressed. Remind me never to get on your bad side. Sheba grinned. Sheba, too late. But beneath the jokes, Ethan knew something. Sheba wasn't just dangerous. She was becoming unstoppable. 3 days later, Sheba and Ethan touched down in Paris under new identities. Their target, Adrian Volkov, a syndicate accountant known for storing billions in human trafficking profits under fake humanitarian projects. Sheba wore a sleek black dress, her hair pinned elegantly. Ethan played the role of a wealthy American investor. The two entered a charity gala filled with billionaires, champagne, and lies. Sheba whispered to Ethan, Sheba, Volkov likes two things, money and mystery. Good thing I'm excellent at both. She approached Volkov with a slow, confident smile. Within minutes, he was captivated. Within hours, she had his security codes. Within the night, Volkov's entire financial empire collapsed as CIA hackers drained every illegal account. As alarms went off, Sheba and Ethan escaped through a service corridor. Mission accomplished, but the syndicate noticed, and they were furious. Back in the U.S., Ethan and Sheba walked into the CIA command center, expecting praise. Instead, the room was dead silent. Agents stood frozen, faces pale. Director Ellington slowly approached them. She handed Ethan a tablet showing a live video feed. A U.S. senator's mansion engulfed in flames. Syndicate retaliation. Silk Minister on video. You take from us, we take from you. Then the feed cut out. Sheba clenched her fists. Sheba, they're not just fighting back. They're declaring war. Ellington nodded. Director Ellington. And it's only the beginning. The screen behind her lit up with 6 faces. High-ranking syndicate leaders across Europe, Asia, and Africa. Director Ellington. These are your next targets. Hit them before they burn the world. Sheba's eyes hardened. Sheba, let's finish what Rosano started. Ethan loaded his weapon. Ethan, for Rosano's victims. And for the ones still out there. The chapter ends with the files closing, the alarm sounding, and Sheba and Ethan walking toward the hangar, headed into the biggest war of their lives. The hangar doors slid shut behind Sheba and Ethan as Director Ellington projected a holographic world map. Red dots lit up across the continents. 6 syndicate leaders. 6 empires of corruption. Director Ellington. We hit 1 in Paris. 5 remain. And the Silk Minister is protecting all of them. She tapped a glowing red dot in Southeast Asia. Director Ellington. This is your next target. Lin Xiao, the syndicate's logistics master. He runs the trafficking routes, coordinates their funds, and personally answers to the Silk Minister. Ethan folded his arms. Ethan, what's the catch? Ellington gave him a cold, thin smile. Director Ellington. He's protected by a private army, and he's hosting a masquerade auction in 3 days. She turned to Sheba. Director Ellington, we need you inside. Sheba raised an eyebrow. Sheba, masquerade? At least they have taste. Ellington didn't laugh. Director Ellington, remember, Lin Xiao never leaves witnesses. If you're discovered, we won't be able to reach you. Sheba nodded calmly. Sheba, I'm not planning on being discovered. 3 nights later, Sheba stepped out a black car at the gates of the palace in Laos, the location of the syndicate masquerade. She wore a shimmering silver mask, an elegant dress, and the confidence of a woman who had walked through fire and survived. Ethan, disguised as a foreign investor, whispered into her earpiece. Ethan, security is heavy. Thermal scans, face scanners. I'm in the surveillance room rerouting feeds. You're clear for now. Sheba walked through the marble entrance where hundreds of masked elites mingled under golden lanterns. Dancers performed. Exotic music echoed. But beneath the beauty was danger. Every person in that room was a player in the syndicate. At the far end, Lin Xiao appeared. Tall, elegant, deadly. His mask was shaped like a serpent. Lin Xiao, welcome, honored guests. Tonight, we celebrate opportunity. Sheba smiled politely. Opportunity indeed. A giant screen descended, showing coded symbols. financial accounts, shipping routes, and black market networks. Lin Xiao raised a hand. Lin Xiao, tonight's auction is unique. We are not selling people. We are selling information. Secrets powerful enough to collapse nations. Gasps filled the room. Sheba's heart tightened. This wasn't about trafficking anymore. The syndicate was evolving. Ethan whispered, "Ethan, Sheba, download everything you can. This intel could expose the entire syndicate." Sheba slowed her breathing. She stepped toward the front of the room, knowing one mistake could end her life. But she didn't plan on making mistakes. As Sheba moved through the crowd, the giant screens flickered. For a moment, just a moment, the image displayed a face. A calm, elegant man in a white suit. The Silk Minister. He spoke through the speakers, his voice echoing in the hall. Silk Minister, to the honored guests, our world evolves. As one pawn falls. A photo of Rosano appeared. Another rises. Sheba froze. He continued, Silk Minister, and tonight a new enemy rises as well. A traitor walks among you. The room went silent. Sheba's pulse quickened. Ethan whispered urgently, "Ethan, Sheba, your cover might be blown." Then the Silk Minister said it. Silk Minister, find the woman wearing the silver mask. Dozens of masked guests turned, slowly, toward Sheba. Her heart stopped. Then she ran. Watch out for more and subscribe.